I'm on the trail of Louise St John Poulton, investigating her puppy breeding business.
Currently, she had no licences to breed or to sell animals.
We've rescued 2 puppies who were seriously ill.
Poor little soul.
And we suspect there may be others.
Oh, bye-bye, cutie.
The RSPCA have been in touch and requested a meeting, so I'm on my way to see Inspector Melissa Brett.
Good to meet you.
And you?
Turns out they've been receiving complaints about Louise St John Poulton's breeding business for over 2 years now, but have never had the evidence to prosecute until they heard about our rescue puppies.
Now what we actually have are 2 puppies that a vet will say have been caused to suffer unnecessarily, and that is an offence.
The Animal Welfare Act states that all reasonable steps must be taken to give dogs a suitable environment, diet, and to be able to behave like normal dogs. And most importantly, they should be protected from pain, suffering, injury and disease. The RSPCA are concerned that Louise St John Poulton may not be meeting all of these conditions.
What's the next step?
I need to go now with the information that I've got to talk to the police station and try and get a magistrate to sign us off a warrant. We need to check everywhere in that property, whether it's outhouses, stables, containers, sheds, whatever. We need to get in and make sure that there is no animal suffering in any corner of their property.
Cheers, Mel. Good luck.
OK, take care.
People are now queuing up to investigate Louise St John Poulton. Trading Standards have also had complaints, 19 in fact over the last 2 years, so I've come to meet team leader Richard Sargent.
Trying to get as much information as we can, so we're contacting all the consumers, trying to get statements from them to get all the facts, all the evidence together, and then we're going to then visit the trader to establish a bigger picture of the whole pattern of activity.
Thank you so much, Richard. Bye-bye.
That's a turn-up for the books. We've got Trading Standards, the RSPCA, Environmental Health and me all investigating her.
After almost a week in the animal hospital, receiving round-the-clock care, the puppies have been discharged.
Hiya, can I come in?
Hello, yes,
Great. So now it's time to hand them over to Billy Elliott at the Worthing District Animal Rescue Service.
This is Miles.
Oh, so Miles is a little boy.
And this is Jem.
The charity has agreed to care for these rescue puppies while I try to find them permanent homes. I'm helping to organise a rehoming event.
This is Splash FM.
Luckily, I've managed to get our cause a bit of airtime.
People are around and they want to come and have a look. They can meet some of the rescue dogs. There's also going to be a couple of very cute little puppies that will be there as well. And they will probably be the ones that pull on the heartstrings, no doubt.
Good luck with what you're doing in Worthing.
Fingers crossed that the publicity brings in the crowds.
A few days later, and the RSPCA now have the search warrant they need to raid Louise St John Poulton's farm.
There's a parking area here.
The police will also attend and must brief all individuals involved. Melissa Brett is joined by another RSPCA inspector, along with their photographer and an independent vet to examine the animals.
Be aware there is a small potential and risk, so basically take care of each other.
And it seems it's not just the RSPCA who are keen to investigate Louise St John Poulton. Environmental Health and Trading Standards are also attending.
I'm not going to go on that raid today because I don't want Louise to know that I'm investigating, because now is not my time to confront her. I'm going to let them get on with it, hope they get the result that we need, and then my time will come later.
Melissa is the first to arrive at the suspected puppy farm.
I would expect that there's going to be puppies in the carport, which is to the left of the house.
She's keen to assess the environment the puppies are being kept in. The plan is for Melissa and 2 officers to explain to Louise St John Poulton what is about to happen. The entire team can then begin their search of the house, outbuildings, stables and also a shipping container that they suspect contains adult dogs.
My other concerns are obviously the adult dogs that are there as well, that they're being used for breeding. How many litters they've had in quick succession. The bitches normally are in quite bad condition, so we don't know till we get in there.
Should the vet identify dogs that he believes are being left to suffer unnecessarily, the police will then seize them and hand them over to the care of the RSPCA. The farm is searched from top to bottom, but something has happened to sabotage the entire operation.
We have found out from Louise herself that she received a tip-off yesterday that we would be attending today, and she was tipped off again half an hour before we attended, and she was told when we were leaving the police station.
Crikey, who on earth would have tipped them off?
It's the big day, the dog rehoming event in Worthing. And everything is coming together. Volunteers have brought along the older dogs.
Hi, Billy.
But the stars of the show have just arrived.
They just look really healthy.
The objective today is to meet lots of possible new owners for Miles and Jem. But not just anyone can adopt a rescue puppy. The dogs will need a garden to run around in, and they can't be left alone all day.
The other thing we're looking for, probably more than anything else, is commitment. They do need to be walked every day. People do need to have the financial means to provide them with veterinary treatment as and when they need it.
And it's not short term, is it? I mean, we're talking about 20 years potentially.
Exactly.
Hopefully. OK, should we get out there then?
Yes.
Right, let's go. Do you have a garden?
A little tiny one.
Right.
That's why only a tiny dog, really.
Yes, yeah.
I'm going to quiz people and put together a shortlist of names for the charity to review.
Would you be interested in potentially rehoming? Yes. You would? Yes. Wonderful.
They will make the final decision as to who is best suited for these puppies.
Yeah, we're at home all the time.
Sound ideal. Would you take her for walks? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested would you say you were?
10.
Miles is looking good.
If you want to add a four-legged friend to your family, your local rehoming centre's a good place to start. But if you're planning on getting a puppy from a breeder, here are a few helpful pointers. Be cautious with the internet and newspapers, where unscrupulous breeders often advertise. Make sure you ask to see the puppy interacting with its mother and have a good look at the conditions it's being kept in. If a breeder offers to show you a dog away from its home, it's a definite warning sign. Puppies should never leave their mothers before they're 8 weeks old, so be wary if your new pup seems suspiciously small. And if in doubt, come back for another visit or start looking somewhere else.
As the day comes to an end, Billy and I feel it's been a great success.
We've had at least a dozen genuine inquiries.
We might have some really lovely potential homes for the puppies.
Exactly.
Now Billy will do the final checks on our hopeful owners and get back to me with the chosen two.
The RSPCA raid may have found no evidence of wrongdoing, but I've just got one hell of a lead. An ex-kennel maid of Louise St John Poulton has agreed to talk to me.
Loretta, thanks for coming, Dominic. Nice to meet you.
Hello. Loretta Holmes worked at the farm for 3 months before walking off the job. And by the sounds of it, she's keen to spill the beans.
How many adult dogs has she got there?
26 breeding bitches.
And males?
12 males.
38 dogs?
38 dogs.
Breeding?
Yeah, breeding.
Hang on, Louise St John Poulton was refused a breeder's licence, so is only allowed to sell 5 litters a year. Unlikely with that number of dogs.
She's running a puppy farm?
She's running a puppy farm.
Loretta's greatest concern is for the adult breeding dogs, as they, unlike the puppies, have no hope of escaping the farm.
They're living in kennels or stables that are very dark, they have no light, they sleep on soaking wet newspaper, they have very little food, and they're often left on wet floors all day and all night.
Rain wet?
No, we're talking about urine wet.
Right.
Loretta has evidence that many of the dogs are kept locked in a shipping container in the paddock.
This is a picture of the compartments inside the container. They can't see out, apart from upwards. There's 5 compartments, and up to 19 dogs will be living in this all day and all night, shut in there.
And in each compartment, how many dogs?
5, 6, sometimes 7 or 8.
So virtually no interaction with anything outside of that little
They
metal.
can't see, no.
You must have taken this up with Louise herself.
Yes, I did. On several occasions, I begged her to do something about the living conditions of her dogs.
Now we have inside knowledge as to the scale of Louise St John Poulton's puppy business.
How many customers a week? Give me no idea.
On one day alone, she can sell 13 dogs.
Let's do the sums here. If the average price for one of her puppies is £400, that's over £5 grand in one day.
But if she's selling that many, she obviously can't get them in quick enough.
No, she can't. No, she can't.
Do you know where she buys those puppies in from?
No idea where they're coming from. Just arrive at work and find a whole stack of new puppies.
What I really want to know is how that RSPCA raid went so wrong. Loretta was working there that day.
How did she know the RSPCA were coming?
She was tipped off by somebody.
And how do you know that?
Because she told me that she was tipped off the day before.
Did she give you an idea of who tipped her off?
No idea. Just started work, 8:30 in the morning, and was told to quickly go and move all the dogs out of a container by Louise Poulton.
And put them where?
To put them into the stables.
Right, and how many dogs are you talking about?
19 dogs.
According to Loretta, some of the other dogs were taken off the farm completely.
Sicker dogs, but they didn't want to be seen.
What can I do to help?
I want you to tell everybody what sort of breeder she is, to stop her being able to sell puppies, and just get her shut down, because she should not be in business.
That's confirmed all my suspicions. She's got untold amount of breeding dogs. She hasn't got licences. She's earning an absolute fortune. Not only that, someone tipped her off about the RSPCA raid and she cleaned the place up within 24 hours. I'll tell you what, she obviously thinks she's got away with it. No way. No way, Jose.
The crack of dawn in West Sussex, and today I'm going after Louise St John Poulton. I want to hear what she's got to say about the suffering she's caused to puppies and their owners.
We've written to Louise St John Poulton on 2 occasions now and asked her in for an interview, and she wrote back and said, yeah, OK, but on her terms. Well, she's going to find out this morning. It doesn't work like that.
I've briefed my surveillance team to stake out her property, so if she leaves the house, we'll be waiting.
I'm now parked up in a very discreet little lay-by, actually, and line of sight, I'm probably less than a quarter of a mile from Louise St John Poulton's house, which would be quite good because I've got somebody watching one end of it and somebody watching the other end, and I'm slap bang in the middle. If she moves, I'll know about it.
But a couple of hours later, and still nothing.
What we do know about Louise St John Poulton is the fact that she sits at home flogging puppies all day long on the internet. She doesn't actually technically need to leave her house, which means I'm going to have to try and flush her out. How am I going to do that?
Coming up, we lay a trap for Louise St John Poulton. I just hope she takes the bait.
This is my one and only chance to get Louise.
And after a seemingly hopeless start in life, at last our rescue puppies Miles and Jem find the happy ever after they deserve. Over the past few weeks, I've been investigating dog breeder and seller Louise St John Poulton. The death and illness of puppies sold by her has caused anguish and heartache.
Get her shut down, because she should not be in business.
Now the time has come for her to be held accountable. My surveillance team and I are staking out her farm, patiently waiting for her to venture out.
It's now 12:30. And what I'm really worried about now is whether or not she's going to even bother leaving this house.
My team and I have hatched a plan to entice her out of the farm.
Hey, you're not going to believe this. Why don't you phone up as a prospective buyer and see if she will come to us? OK, good luck. Let's know how you get on. Hello, it's Dominic speaking.
Bingo, she's taken the bait. Our plan is underway.
In exactly 45 minutes from now, Louise St John Poulton will be picking up our operative from the train station, supposedly to go and look at her puppy. This is my one and only chance to get Louise.
We're in position and all eyes are on the clock. Our operative has told Louise St John Poulton she's arriving on the 2:20 train, and she's offered to pick her up.
It's all hanging on the next couple of minutes. If she don't turn up, we are buggered big time.
But if she does enter the station, she's mine.
Still no sign of Echo 1.
Got that. I'm surprised she's not here. Come on, Louise, 1 minute to go. Bloody hell, you'd think she'd be early, wouldn't you? She's about to sell a puppy. Well, there's the train pulling in.
And then we get word that she's pulling into the car park.
Echo 1, out of the vehicle, 777.
Right, go.
Louise St John Poulton is inside the station looking for her supposed customer.
Right, just wait up, she's got to come out.
And here she comes.
Louise, hi, it's Dominic Littlewood from Channel 5's Cowboy Traders. How you doing? Why are you illegally selling puppies and breeding them from your farm, Louise? Come on, you should be ashamed of yourself. Puppies are dying. No comment. Puppies like that. Louise, you're selling them when they're sick and ill. They're underage, Louise. You shouldn't be selling them. Be ashamed. That is a woman who's got the trading standards, environmental health, the RSPCA and me looking into her. She's still out here trying to flog puppies. Greed is conquering brains right now. Louise, you should be ashamed.
Louise St John Poulton's solicitor wrote to us to say that she had nothing to hide and wouldn't be commenting any further on our allegations, other than to say that they were either factually incorrect or just hearsay. He claimed that many members of the public have aligned themselves to animal rights organisations and make false and malicious complaints against pet shops that sell live animals. But what the solicitor seems to be forgetting is that his client doesn't hold licences to breed or sell dogs. He said that a complaint had been lodged with the police about our investigation. Well, we've yet to hear from the police and we stand by everything we've said about her. Louise St John Poulton, a cowboy trader if ever there was one.
This case has been quite a journey. 4 weeks ago we rescued 2 very young puppies from Louise St John Poulton's farm. Miles and Jem were both dehydrated, underweight and suffering from a whole host of diseases. But thanks to fantastic veterinary care and a lot of TLC, both dogs are now happy, healthy pups. We held a charity rehoming event and had a great response. Several people were keen to adopt the dogs, and after much deliberation, the charity has decided on 2 families for our puppies. Miles, the Chihuahua Poodle Cross, is the first to be officially delivered to his new home. But who will be the lucky new owner? Karen Bleasdon is a part-time receptionist and a big Chihuahua fan. Miles will share his new home with 3 other dinky dogs, Francesca, Louis and Chloe. For Karen, it was love at first sight.
My heart just melted and he was absolutely gorgeous.
I think he's really lucked out.
We found each other, it was obviously meant to be.
Definitely.
This is a little gift. It's got everything in it you should need.
We've got Karen a little something as a token of our appreciation.
This is a year's insurance covering Miles. Is that all right?
Yeah, oh, thank you so much.
See you guys.
Miles has finally found the loving home he so deserves. And with that, we're on to our next doggy drop-off.
This is your new home.
Jem, the Jack Russell, may not have had the best start in life, but things are about to get a whole lot better.
Hello. She's coming to stay. Oh,
just come in.
You'd love to.
Go on then, dogs.
Emma Pink is the manager of a wildlife rescue centre. She lives on site with her partner and 6-year-old daughter, Phoebe. They rescue, treat and rehabilitate all manner of wild animals.
I genuinely cannot think of a better home or a better start in life for Jem.
I hope so. We're pleased to have her as part of the family.
They already have a rescue dog called Holly and an old boy called Spot.
Do you think she's going to have a wonderful time with you?
Yeah. Now, what we got for you here is a whole load of doggy bits.
And with that, it's time to say goodbye to Jem and her new family.
Bye, Jem.
Bye, Phoebe.
Bye.
When you think about how these poor little dogs started out their life, you know, it couldn't have been more horrific.
It's turned out all right in the end, isn't it?
It certainly has.
Next week, holiday horrors.
I'd love to know how he can sleep at night.
Children left in the lurch.
Devastating.
And a cowboy who's pocketed thousands from unsuspecting parents.
You took it personally, didn't you?
Yeah, really bad, yeah.
You feel responsible for that?
Totally.